Hi, I'm Scott Allwood. This is an episode of Recap where I look back at old TV shows that I had on VHS and haven't watched since then. This is an early 2000s show, MTV's Undressed. I was around 15 back then, and this was a show filled with a bunch of silly situations and people getting undressed, women in their bras, and I was a little pervert kid, so I was like, as I watched, just, oh my God. We start on a shot of a college, a guy reading a book, his name's Chuck, and then two girls who were kind of talking about him hiding behind a pillar. They're like, oh, he thinks he's so hot, and he can definitely hear him because he kind of gives like a,
Because I'm the best.
So the blonde, who we find out is Angie, she's into him, she walks over to him, and she's like, tries way too hard.
God, you're 10.
Marine biology. Just studying hard.
I love fish, especially those big, long ones.
That's what this show is, so buckle up, because it's just a lot of that. Anyways, she keeps trying. She's like, I can get your mind off of studying.
I really need to get this done. I'm gonna read this in my room.
Damn, Chuck. So her friend is like, well, maybe you're just not his type, and she's like, I'm everybody's type.
I'm everybody's type. Chuck is just playing another one of his mind games. He thinks he's the king of sex. Well, he's about to find out that the queen is the one with the real power.
Now we're on to story 2. 3 dorks in lab coats in detention. I don't know why they have detention. It must have like been said in a previous episode. But the guy leaves immediately because the one girl is a bit feisty.
Right. I'll be in the dressing room if anybody needs to dress anything.
So she's having this I hate all men speech because
That intercom crap you pulled last night was low even for a primate like him. Not as low as what Stanley was saying about me over the intercom. God, why does he hate me so much?
story 3, yes, the stories just they're this quick paced. It's just like a quick, hey, this is said, and then this is said, and then this is said. Anyway, story 3. Guy is in his bedroom cleaning up, and he pours some champagne. Chick walks in, and then they...
First time.
First time? Do you think that means sex? I think that means sex. So they take a sip of wine, and then... So he starts trying to unbutton her shirt, and she gets all whiny, like, oh, stop it! What are you doing? I'm supposed to do that! And I'm like, oh, God. And then... And I'm like, oh, God! Back at story 2, the girls are chatting in detention about boys bringing them to their lake houses. And one girl has been to the lake house, and she said this one boy brought her out there and gave her a necklace.
They're put together, they spell forever. And I still carry it around. How pathetic is that?
So she leaves because boys are no good, and then the other boy comes back in, and then...
Set the mood for the perfect first kiss.
Great idea. We'll set the mood.
Back to story 1, Chuck is actually in his bedroom studying, not beating off to the encounter with the hot chick from earlier like we all expected him to be doing, and knock, knock, tappity-tap on the door. It's the blonde girl from earlier.
Let's cut right to it. You need sex now.
Ooh, an undress. Living up to your name, I see. But he does tell her that he had a crush on her, but he can't do it because of all this science talk. I don't know how to explain what he just said, so here's a clip.
I was working with a blue-ringed octopus in the marine sciences lab last week, and I got careless. It stung me and pumped me full of tetrodotoxin. That stuff that attacks your nervous system and...
Is this just another one of your games?
She thinks he's playing games, and he's like, nah, I'd never do that, but then immediately makes her leave, shuts the door, and smiles. Like it is a game. Like, what's the game here? She already wants to have sex with you. End of game. Have sex with her. What's the point of this? Back to story 2. The nerds are about to they're trying to set up the perfect first kiss. Ah, shit. This girl is trying to have another kiss for her friend Christina and the boy she was talking about.
This is for them?
Yeah, what'd you think? Oh.
No, Stanley and Christina. Right, I got it.
Whew. Poor dude. I feel for him in the soul. I need a moment. But So she's like a bitch, and then it's like, also so can you add cricket sounds as well? And he's like, sure, cricket, 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 cricket. And then she comes over to him, and it smoochity smooch. But back to story 3. So these two are about to have sex for the first time, and the reason is because they've been studying up on each other's fantasies so they can, have the best sex ever. But then she's like, time out!
Time out.
Commercial. What the fuck is going on in the storyline? We cut back to him, and then he's like confused because he's going, did I do something wrong?
According to the workbook, it's a good idea to tell your partner when love play is progressing smoothly.
What in the actual hell? Wait till after. You get donged down and then you say, that our plan went perfectly. Saying this interrupts the plan and then brings potential for the plan to fail. I will say this, there's some very funny back and forth after that moment of them saying like how this is going well.
The smooth progression of our love play.
And I'm glad you're glad.
I am too. Really, really glad.
All right, timeout's over.
So we're back at story 1, and Chuck is hanging out with his roommate, and the roommate is annoyed. He's like, what are you doing? Hot blonde Angie wants to have sex with you. You're crazy. And then Chuck...
Gorgeous, completely naked sorority girls like Angie I've had sex with. Grace, Lonnie, Lizzie, Julie, Carrie, Erin, Elise, on and on. I'm bored.
Oh, you're bored? Boo-hoo. I've had sex so much. I'm bored. Knockity knock. Here's Angie again. You're the queen of sex? What are you doing? This is like the 3rd time you've been around Chuck tonight. You're not showing that you're the queen. You're showing that you're a psychopath. And this is all in, a couple hours? You just keep coming back? She better win at the end of this storyline or I'm going to be pissed. Story 2, the makeout session continues with the nerds, but then Christina comes back in with the boy, and they're just arguing back and forth like crazy.
It's an accident, Robbie.
So was mine.
Like I don't know you. You turned on the intercom on purpose just to humiliate me.
No. I mean, yeah, okay, I turned it on, but I did it for us.
This boy is actually a fucking sweetheart, though. I love him.
I didn't steal it. I bought it with the money I'd been saving up to get your name tattooed on my stomach.
This is the best part so far in the episode. This moment right here. But it does make me suddenly love the two of them because I have a girl's name tattooed on my... I'm just kidding.
We belong together. We're the same kind of people. Keep the necklace.
Story 3, couple trying to have sex for the first time still. And they go back at it, and surprise, something goes wrong.
Hey! Hair tugging was specifically on my list of turn-offs.
This is tough. Poor guy. He really is trying to do what she wants him to do, but she feels they should improvise a little more. And she says okay. And I love that these two are trying to accommodate each other's wants in the bedroom for what they want to accomplish in their first act of love together. Their first act of getting cum inside of her. Story 1, Angie comes over, she has the paperwork, she's going, listen, I looked up what you said about the octopus, and turns out it's true. So she...
You mean it doesn't work?
No, it still works. It's just, I don't really feel as much as I used to.
This story is actually really fun to watch, and how Chuck acts in this next clip.
Could you feel that?
Clearly.
Maybe if I used more tongue.
What's the use?
So she keeps kissing him and saying she's gonna make him whole again. Whatever. Back to story 2. The boy leaves, and I need more of him. This other boy walks in.
Go to hell.
Stanley.
That's what you wanted to see me for?
I didn't want to see you.
I don't understand why the fuck she's so mad at this other boy Robbie about the necklace if she's wanting this boy Stanley, who seems pretty nice.
I was just saying that stuff because I saw you and Robbie in the dressing room together. I was trying to convince myself that I didn't care if you were with him. I was trying to convince myself that I hated you. But that's not how I feel.
Story 3, the story of them trying to have sex for the first time continues. And he's trying to improvise, but she just decides her improvisation is just lying stiff as a board. And she immediately says she can't do this.
Now what?
Improvising stuff isn't working for me.
She tried for like 2 seconds. He kisses her arm or lifts her arm and she's like, no! And then understandably, the guy goes, I can't do this. I give up. I'm out of here. See you later. And not so many words.
I give up. Even Dr. Robinson would agree we're a lot less perfect for each other than we thought.
Stanley says that he loves Christina, but it doesn't matter now because she loves Robbie. And she's like, I thought I did. Like, what? You were just having a passionate argument with him 10 seconds ago. And now you're talking to this guy.
Not that it matters. You're in love with Robbie now.
I thought I was, but
But maybe he is better for her because he seems a lot less unhinged. She's a huge brat, and he's just kind of like this guy that's going, hey, I fucking love you, so maybe we should make out, and then... Story 1. Angie is straddling Chuck now, kissing all over him, and he starts to feel things, and she's like, oh, you're feeling something? And he's like, oh, yeah, just maybe a little bit. Angie, notice the signs. He's faking. Come on, you got it. So we come back from a commercial break. Angie is like, standing up, putting her clothes on, like, gotcha. You're so good. Yeah, you felt everything. And he's like, I probably felt maybe 50%. And she's sad. And it breaks my heart. I'm rooting for her in this episode. And he's making her feel like that. She's questioning her own sexuality because he's being a weirdo. Story 2. Stanley seems like a good dude.
His arm around you. I knew all day I wanted to try and kiss you. I was so nervous.
why?
I thought you would laugh at me, or run away screaming, or throw up.
You didn't have to be nervous.
Why does he even want to be with her? She's a nutso. But guys love crazy chicks. That's a fact. So he says, I wish we never broke up. Skirt! She's mad. Why'd you dump me then? Why'd you give me the dump? Huh, Stanley? Why'd you give me the dump? Huh? No dump, we'd still be together. Why the dump? You didn't have to give me the dump. Why'd you give me the dump? Story 3, these two are arguing about how both of them are wanting different things. So they're breaking up. She's leaving, and this is a very funny moment in this scene right here.
When you break up with a girl, do it at her house so she doesn't have to walk home.
You drove here.
It's still rude.
Back to story 1. Chuck is talking about how the man-eater has met her match, and he's having her do all the work, and he's never going back to any way of sex. He's going to keep tricking girls into working hard for his affection. And a classic TV mistake. They're talking about this in the goddamn bathroom. So they walk out. Guess who walks out of the stall? Nope. It's Angie's best friend. She's gonna tell on you. You're gonna get it. Tables are turned, boy. Story 2. If it gets to me laughing, it's because I've tried to say this multiple times and I keep failing at it. Story 2. Christina and Stanley were supposed to meet up one night and Stanley didn't show. So Christina was upset, and Stanley says he wanted to come, but he didn't because every time he would try to talk to her, she got all dark and mad, and she says the classic,
But if you really loved me, you would have met me that night, no matter what I said or how I acted.
Stanley, run out of the room. Christina runs out of the room now. Story 3. Guy goes back to his apartment, sees his roommate.
What's with the suitcase?
He's talking about how he's moving out. He's packed and ready to go. First house he sees, he's gonna rent. Like, what? What is it, 10 o'clock at night? You see an apartment or house for rent. You're not gonna be able to rent it at night, sir. You're sleeping in your car tonight. Just stay there. And then work on that the next day. Anyway, I guess this concludes the story about a couple who tried to have sex for the first time and then that didn't work out. So he decided to change his life completely. Story 1.
Guess what I just heard in the bathroom? Some guy peeing?
Such a funny line. But the best friend tells Angie what happened, and Angie is pissed.
Lose? This was just round 1. Now it's my turn. I'm gonna give him a sting that'll really deaden his senses.
And that's the end of the show. It shows previews for the next episode, and story 1 and 2 continue on. Story 3 ended, so a new story starts, and that's how the show kind of continues on throughout the series. It's a fun show. I had so much fun watching it, and it's so quick paced that it's probably not as good if you put the stories in the right order. But it was fun the way they edited it. So, see you next recap.